Hey everyone, it's your coach Marwan from Marwan Kilo Fitness and fitandleandad.com. Today's video we're going to talk about 4 advanced workout strategies to burn stubborn belly fat faster. Alright, so the majority of people that I see and speak to in the gym always tend to prefer their cardio over the weight training session. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that you can actually make, simply because you're making your body efficient at not burning any calories, okay? And the last thing that you need when you're trying to burn fat or build muscle is to become efficient. This is because the body's built to adapt, and it adapts to everything that you throw at it, okay? That's the way it was designed, and that's the way it's always going to be. And that's why you've always got to change things up, simply to prevent the body from actually stalling and getting bored, so to speak, okay? So if all you're doing is cardio, the body is going to adapt to the cardio that you're doing. And because you're using machines, okay, those machines don't burn as many calories as you think they are. Okay, if you see that a lot of, they say, you kind of notice when you go to the gym, you see the same people each and every day. All right, they're coming in and they're in the same shape and without actually changing any shape, despite doing a ton of cardio. And you see a lot of these people are actually doing steady state cardio, and the reason why they're doing a lot of steady state cardio is because they have this so-called myth that if you are in a fat burning zone, which is 60% of your maximum heart rate, then you're going to burn more fat. Yeah, that might be true, but what you want is total calories, okay? A pound of body fat is 3,500 calories. Now you're telling me that by going on this for 20 minutes, you're going to burn 3,500 calories. How long is it going to take you to burn 3,500 calories? Not a lot, not a very, very long time. Okay, and that's with the body basically adapt, and it's not going to burn as many calories as you think it's going to burn, especially on these machines. Okay. Now, whilst yes, you do burn more fat, okay, in that particular workout, the body will then adapt and burn more and kind of burn more carbs later on. Okay, so this is what I mean by the body being adaptable. Okay, so it's like it's like fasted cardio. People think that by doing fasted cardio, then you're going to burn more fat because you haven't eaten anything. Well, that might be true, you're going to burn more fat, but then your body will compensate by burning more carbs later on in the day. Okay, so it's kind of two schools of thought, all right? Now, another thing that I see people do, another mistake, is using 15 to 20 reps per exercise and doing high volume. All right, that's complete no-no, because all you're doing is basically telling your body not to keep the muscle, all right? Because you're doing a lot of heavy lifting. If you got muscle, then you've lifted some heavy weights before, and that's why you got that muscle. Now, what you're doing now in a calorie deficit, you are going to shed some muscle anyway, because the body doesn't want to hold on to that muscle because it's calorie expensive, all right? So the body doesn't want the muscle because it has to feed it. It has to burn calories. Muscle burns calories. It would rather have the fat rather than have the muscle. All right, so doing 15, 20 reps and doing high volume is going to do nothing. You're not going to cut the muscle. You're not going to rip it up. You're not going to do anything to it. All right, you've got to have the muscle in the first place. Yes, you can target a particular body part by doing some individual exercises for that particular body part. But doing 15, 20 reps, all it's going to do is target your type 1 muscle fibers, which is your endurance fibers. So all it's going to do is you're going to burn, it's going to burn, but you're taking a bit more glycogen from the muscle, which is not going to help you burn fat anyway. All right, so 4 points here. We've got heavy lifting. You want to do heavy lifting twice a week, and that's because you want to give the body the reason to hold on to the muscle. You're going to say, right, okay, I'm going to move some heavy shit now, simply because I want to hold on to this muscle. So I'm not saying that you do the 1 rep or 2 rep maxes, because that'll be very silly. You are in a depleted state anyway, and the chances are you're not going to be able to lift as heavy A, because your nervous system will let you, and 2, your muscles, which is given way before you are able to do anything anyway. You won't have the energy. Okay, so do opposing body parts, all right, because you want to send blood kind of to different parts of the body. So what you can do, you do chest and back, quads and hams, chest and quads maybe, or back and quads, okay, whichever you want. I find upper lower training is really good, okay, especially when it comes to the, we'll see on the next point, okay. So because you are in a deficit, I would recommend doing heavy lifting more than twice a week. Okay, you don't want to burn yourself out. You don't want to get very, very tired and that you cannot recover and push yourself. Remember, you've got your body, and when you're training to lose body fat, your body is like a petrol tank. Every single journey, every single workout, you're starting in a deficit, okay? And it's going to continue going down and down and down and down. And you haven't got the chance to refill that fuel up to the maximum, okay? It'll only kind of go, if you're halfway, you go back a little bit and then go down, 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 further down, all right? The next one is lactate-inducing lifting. So one thing I didn't mention with this, obviously you do the big compound exercises. You don't want to do any direct work for triceps or biceps simply because you're doing heavy lifting. So the exercises you're using will take care of these body parts. So overhead shoulder press, bench press, bent over rows, pull-ups, chin-ups, deadlifts, squats, okay? Now, lactate-inducing lifting. Now, lactic acid, what you want to do is, the lactate basically is lactic acid. So the lactate-inducing lifting is lactic acid. So what you want is to produce a lot of lactic acid, and that will turn and produce a lot of growth hormone, which will actually stimulate and use the growth hormone for energy to the muscle. All right. So when you stimulate the growth hormone, you're going to burn more fat. So what you want to do, and what I do, is strength circuit training. So I'll choose, say, 4 exercises and do them back to back, whether that's and then without any rest in between. So what you want to do is pick, say, your 8 rep max and do 5 reps if you want to go heavy, or if you want slightly more volume, less wear on the joints. And what you can do, you can take your 10 or 12 rep max and do 8 reps. Okay, so see which one you prefer. I tend to do 5 reps and vary between. So I'll do 5 reps, say I'll do bent over rows, I'll do pull-ups, I'll do deadlifts, and I'll do squats. Okay, those 4 exercises back to back, and I'll rest maybe a minute between circuits. Okay, and believe me, by the end of the 3rd or 4th or 5th, however many you want to do, then you're going to feel very, very gassed. Okay, they're very, very demanding workouts, and they're going to burn a lot more fat than you would do for something like just cardio alone. Now, 3rd one is aerobic work, which is your cardio. I don't like cardio myself, simply for the points that I've mentioned. I tend to like going outside and just going for walks outside. That's my cardio, being active the whole time, walking the dog. But I realise that's not an option for everyone, depending on where you live. All right, so what you can do is, like 15-20 minutes after your lactic acid work, just go on the treadmill for a bit, do some like steady state cardio, and that will help to facilitate the release of the fatty acids, okay, the kind of the lipids, and help to get them out. All right, so number 4 is lactic energy systems work. Lactic is basically, think something like sprinting, quick sprinting, not 100 meters, but like 30 to 60 meters. I tend to use something like a prowler or a sled and try and go for speed and power rather than strength. All right, then you can load them up really heavy, and you can go and push for like a certain distance. That'll help you build endurance, but I tend to go for speed and power and just go with 30 to 60 meter sprints. Some tracks will have like 25 meters, and that will do. Okay, or you can do 50 meters if you want, there and back if you feel you've got the energy. All right, but do that for a few times and you guarantee the fat will fall off. Now, the more activities that you are in, the more body fat that you're going to lose, simply because you're having to do multiple things. You're training multiple energy systems, so to speak, and multiple, not body parts, I can't think of the exact word, but think about the people who are doing hockey. Okay, these guys have to do sprinting, these guys have to go in the gym, these guys have to work on their balance, and they have to work on their agility. So you have to be kind of an all-rounder, so to speak, okay, in all these to be able to do hockey. And these guys have diets that are less than ideal, but they are ripped, more ripped than any of the other guys that you see. Now think about the 100-meter sprinters and the 400-meter sprinters as well. 400 meters produces the biggest lactic acid you'll ever have. Okay, if you ever run 400 meters, then you'll know exactly what I mean. Now these guys have to work out in the gym, and these guys have to work on their agility, and they have to work on their speed as well. So they're using multiple energy systems at the same time. Contrary to the fact that the marathon runners are a lot skinnier, simply because they're doing so much work and so much running, they're not able to keep any muscle in the body. Okay, they're having muscle is counterintuitive for these guys, simply because they're having to go the distance, and even if they had any muscle, it's kind of not going to be there anyway with the amount of running and the kind of distances they have to do. All right. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Leave me a like if you found this video helpful. Leave me a comment to let me know what videos you want me to do next. And if you found it helpful, share this video with your friends, family, co-workers, whoever else you think is going to benefit from it. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.